This podcast is intended for adults 18 years and older. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. All thoughts and opinions expressed are of our own and not of those of any specific group, employer, or individual, and is not intended to take as professional advice.
Welcome to the Foreplay Podcast. Join the journey, experiences, and sexual adventures of two high school sweethearts navigating through the swinging lifestyle as millennials. Come along for the ride. Dare to play?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foreplay Podcast. This is Bella.
This is Jase.
Today's episode is about sport fucking and casual hookups and anonymous hookups in the swinging lifestyle. Now, sport fucking isn't something that I've ever heard the term of before, but I was just... You've heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard
in
that
the
term.
Lifestyle?
Yeah.
Really?
Like the notch on the bedpost type thing, sport fucking? Yeah, I've definitely heard that term used before.
Oh, shit. I never knew that was something that people...
I don't
use
think
as a term
it's people like all the time are like, hey, look at them sport fuckers over there. Like I don't think it's like regularly, but like I've definitely heard about people saying that like, oh yeah, like have you ever met those people? They're like sport fuckers. I think it comes from like almost. I think that the time I heard someone say it,
When did you
they
hear
were.
this?
I don't remember. It's been 10 years.
Okay. You've been over the course of 10 years.
Yes,
so,
I heard it.
Would you say it was more towards the beginning?
No, I'd say in the last like 3 years, 4 years.
Huh, okay.
I don't remember where. But I think they were talking about almost like big game hunters. Like, you know, like people that like hunt for sport.
Okay.
Like they fuck as like to get people. Does that make sense? Like to like fuck more people. Sport fucking.
So they're doing it as just because.
They like want to fuck people and they want to fuck as many as possible. Like big game hunters want to hunt like the biggest prey. I could be wrong. I swear that is what's up. So if this podcast is totally off based or whatever that word is, I swear that's like how it was explained to me. But maybe I was explained wrong.
I don't know. I just in general, the whole podcast is just going to be about casual hookups versus lifestyle experiences where you might have more of a connection with the people that you are having that experience with. And so we want to, right off the bat, we're not saying one is better than the other at all. We're just having a conversation about it because it's something that I was just on Reddit and I happened to see some of the top posts was about sport fucking and then anonymous hookups. And so I just thought it'd be an interesting topic because it's not one that we've really touched on in detail before. So
yeah, I definitely agree. I think the most important thing is to realize, like we always say, the lifestyle is a journey. And so whatever your journey is good for you. As long as you're not like taking advantage of people and like trying to like get people to sleep with you for a bad reason or like that okay is different. But as long as it's consensual, great. It's your journey. We're just gonna talk because we've definitely had more of those experiences. I feel like from the very anonymous where we didn't really know people at all to the people that we have known for literal years before we played with them. And I feel like we've had experiences all in between. So we'll kind of talk about, I guess, the differences and how we felt, how we've changed over the last decade in the lifestyle.
And one of these questions was asking, do hookups like these more casual ones, anonymous ones in the way that you just... I think what they're asking is they were at the club and then they had the door open and then inviting people in, saying that it was okay for you to come in, and then somebody came in and then they gave each other the look and they said it was, you know, it was okay, and then they fucked and they didn't know each other's names and they went their different ways. And so that would be what we're talking about in here as anonymous hookup, or so an anonymous experience. Sport fucking, I think how are we going to explain it in this like sense of our explanation? I guess it's more of the same thing where it's just you don't need to make this deep connection with anybody.
Is sport fucking trying to fuck as many people as possible?
Well, this one doesn't say that it's fucking as many people as possible. More so they just like fucking and they fuck a lot. I don't think it's necessarily because they're trying to reach a certain number and they just are using people. I think they're just
Sport
slutty.
fucking refers to engaging in casual sex purely for pleasure or recreational purposes, without emotional attachment or the intention of forming a romantic relationship. It's often seen as a way to enjoy sexual activity for fun rather than intimacy or connection beyond the physical. The term can have different connotations depending on context, but it usually emphasizes sex as a physical or competitive experience. or competitive. So that
We're-
one last word did mean that I guess it could go either way.
I will say, I think in the lifestyle, when we are talking about sport fucking, it's typically not people who are wanting to do it competitively,
I
quotations
agree.
competitively. So we're saying that now. It's just what you were saying at the beginning part, where it's just recreational and it's fun without any kind of emotional attachment.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have that established. It could mean different things, but for our podcast from now on, what Bella just said is what it means.
So our first experience ever at a club actually was a hookup like this, where it was, and if you want to hear like the real in detail, in depth about it, we do have a podcast episode about it. It was one of our very first ones ever, probably within the first 5, and we'll have that specific episode linked down below if you want to hear it. But also we recorded that like 4 years ago, so sorry if our way of storytelling was not as good or a lot different than it is.
Or maybe we
now.
still suck.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope we're better now.
So that experience actually was that we were about to leave the club. This was Colette, Dallas, and
Our first time we ever went.
yeah, which was maybe 2015. It was a long time
Probably
ago. Yeah.
2015,
So
yeah.
it's 2024 right now, about to be 2025. So it was a long time ago. But they had a open air playroom where there was a huge round bed in there, and then around the bed on the wall area there were seating. So Jason and I were about to leave and go back to the hotel and go home, call it a night. And this is late into the evening at
Like
this
2:30,
club.
3.
And we happened to see a couple across from us, and they were looking at us, and we were looking at them, and we could just kind of tell, like all 4 of us could kind of tell. They came over and they asked if we wanted to go to a playroom, and we went with them, and we had a full swap.
It was a fun experience.
Yeah, and I'm sure we introduced each other, but we knew nothing about them. I mean, obviously we use protection. We talked about rules. Those are
Yeah.
those are obvious things.
Yeah.
But we didn't know anything about their personality or anything like that, other than I honestly don't even know if we introduce our names.
This was like 9 years ago. I
Yeah.
think we said our names, but the basis was we knew what they looked like.
Yes.
And we knew what our rules and boundaries were.
Yes. And
That
we
was
knew
basically it.
that we wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is so we have had that kind of hookup before, and it was really hot. Earlier in that night, I guess, so we actually had 2 experiences that night. We had a threesome and a foursome, our very first
That
night.
never happens ever.
Yeah, not for us. I mean, I think we could. It could happen. It's just it doesn't happen for us anymore now. But that was pretty crazy for us.
Mm-hmm.
But so our other experience that same exact night was with a single girl who was there with a couple, and then we ended up playing with her. But we actually did create a friendship. I wouldn't say it took much time.
That's like an hour.
Yeah,
Talking.
but we at least knew each other to the point where we knew each other's names, and we liked the same kind of things, and we were flirting, had that banter, and it was fun. We were around the same age too at that time, and so we had both kinds of experiences, and they are both fun.
Mm-hmm. And we've had the experience where we met a couple, actually at our first night at Colette. And then what a crazy night. We ended up playing with them. It must have been 3 to 4 years later.
Yeah.
Right? 3 to 4 years. I don't know the exact time. It was 3 to 4 years later. And we had continued to see them over those 3 to 4 years. So it's not like we spent them one night and then fucked them 4 years later, right?
Yeah.
Like, we became friends. Like, we would see them at the club. We would spend time together. We had eaten, we'd gone to eat food. Like, we'd done things together. We'd been to parties together. Like, we took 4 years and then we had sex with somebody. So also amazingly fun, but just a completely different experience.
And when you compare lifestyle scene from the North Americas to Europe, it is completely different. So in Europe, you will actually see a lot more of this kind of casual hookup
too, yeah.
more than you would see in America. And
From
so,
our experience.
Yeah, from our experience. And so whenever we go to Europe, we'll just walk around, and then people will you could just walk around the playroom, and it's very normal. It is like, I would say, probably the norm that a couple will see another couple, make that eye contact, and kind of not usher them in. What am I? I'm
Like
come
wave them
here.
over?
Yeah, waving them over.
Come here. I like that.
And then fuck in the playroom right then and there. And I don't know how much information is getting exchanged, but it's like very, very casual over there. And you'll see that in the playrooms in America too, but just not near as much. And typically I feel like whenever we go into playrooms, it's more so couples playing together who are with their own partners.
But I will say, we are not big playroom people.
Yeah.
And we don't go into playrooms super late at night. So it could be more now in America as well. I want to ask, I already know this answer, but so I feel like as we've started the lifestyle, we were more into that making friendships to a point, but more into the play aspect. I feel like we've moved more into the making those deeper connections before playing. And like, how has it changed how you felt, and how has it changed your overall enjoyment from an experience in a positive or negative manner?
So for me, I have learned that I actually really do need some kind of connection to a person more than the physical to really enjoy my experience. And for the last many of our experiences, I would say over the last few years at this point, I can't even remember the last time we had a super, super casual hookup where we didn't even
It's been a hot
think-
minute since we sport fucked.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I would say these experiences that I do have that friendship connection has been a lot more enjoyable for me. And I like that. I like knowing that we don't have to fuck to have a good time. And we can just be doing something completely vanilla, and then also have the option to sometimes play. And I would prefer that it was a majority of the time not sexual whenever we are like hanging out. And that for me has been the best kind of relationship and the best kind of experience with meeting people and hanging out with people and creating these connections and friendships. And it's not even that it has to be super, super deep connection. And so we're not polyamorous at all, and we have no interest in polyamory. And when it comes to romantic connection and romantic emotion, that stays between Jase and me, and that's not anything that we are seeking. Mm-hmm. And so we're not talking about it in that sense. Whenever we're talking about a deep connection in a friendship way, I'm talking about like, imagine your best friend. That's like the kind of friendships that I would love to have. Like, I would love to have couples who are all best friends, and sometimes we fuck. Like the Outer Banks, you know? Like, they there's like 3 couples there, and they all like love each other. They're all like amazing friends.
Yeah.
And so that is, I think, what I'm like searching for still to this day. Like, we don't have that, but that's something
We've
that
made better friends over time.
Yeah, but like I think that, but you know, maybe it's not, because in my head, I think that would be the like what I think would be best for me. Like, I think that's what I want, but maybe it's not.
And I'll also say, I feel like there's different levels of it too, right? So like when you say making these deeper friendships or deeper connections, we've had times where we've talked to people for 45 minutes and we just click, and it's just this instant energy and connection, and like we feel great, and like that is good with us, and we move into play, right? There's also the times where I said maybe there's people at the beginning we didn't really connect with that much, and then over time we get to know them better and better, and then that attraction changes and becomes more and more, and then you play, right? So it's also for us not where it has to be like, well, we don't ever play on the first date. We don't ever, or the first time we meet, we don't ever play that day. Like, we're not like that way either, because sometimes we meet couples and we just instantly hit it off. And that's just as like, I've had experiences with people that I've known for a longer period of time that I've got to know really well. I've had better experiences at times when I met somebody that night, but we just really, really clicked. So I wouldn't say that, like, to me, yes, when it gets to a certain level and you're like really amazing friends, you've been friends for a really long time, like, and you're really, really close, I feel like maybe those experiences can sometimes top other ones. But I would say, like, if I've been friends with someone and we're like good friends, or I meet someone and we have a great connection, I feel like those experiences have a chance a feeling similar to me. Like they could vary because I mean obviously every experience will vary, but I feel like there's like almost like 3 major tiers of like if I were to fuck someone that I didn't really know at all, that connection, then that in between where it's like maybe we met an hour ago and we really like each other, or maybe we met and we're just decent friends, and then the ones where it's like we've really connected, we're really amazing friends, we've spent a lot of time together, and then have an experience. I feel like there's like 3 different tiers that as a bubble to me.
Yeah, and which
Do you
one
feel that way?
Yeah, I feel like that. And what to you do you think is your favorite, or what do you think is your
Not the first one, the sport fucking more like no connection. That to me.
But let me bring this up, okay? So
Okay.
whenever we were on Temptation Cruise, and so we had an experience with a couple who we are actually very, very good friends with, who we have been friends with over the years now. And then we were fucking them, and then we actually invited another couple who we barely knew, okay? And they ended up, we didn't know who was gonna come. And it ended up being that couple who we knew in each other's names. We like had barely talked. I think that we together have maybe had,
Okay.
I don't know, like 50
Okay.
words exchanged with
Yes,
each other.
I know exactly what you're talking about, obviously.
And that was very fun.
But this is why I'm gonna say that's not normally my favorite.
No. I know it's not your favorite, but I'm just like saying that it can be. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
You say what you say.
So, I feel like, strictly sexual speaking, that group of the 6 of us, it just meshed so well, right? I feel like if you don't get to know people well, that if that sex part was not just like firing on all cylinders, it maybe wouldn't be as fun of an experience. Whereas if you've made some sort of connection, maybe even if like the sex part you don't like vibe perfectly, the talking and the banter and all of that fun stuff also enhance that experience and make it an overall great experience. Where to me, like, let's say that we had sex with that couple and like, let's say the sex was fun, but like not anything crazy. I feel like I would have missed that better connection talking wise. So that's why I feel like the other ones would definitely be my favorite, just because I like to be able to, it's not like we didn't laugh or didn't have fun, but just feeling even more comfortable in I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I felt like even
It felt
more. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Are you trying to say, because this is how I feel, that if the couple, Sophia and Max, that's their names on our podcast, if they, because we were able to just joke and laugh, and we've had sex with them before, and us having them there enhanced the experience because we had the couple we were very comfortable with and we could kind of play off each other, and then we also had this other aspect of a couple who was new to our I guess new to us,
New to
the
the
4 of
orgy,
us,
is it?
yeah. Whereas so that was also fun, but had it been 6 people who all like had sexual chemistry but didn't quite have any of that like friendship banter, like I think that I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as we did because we did have a couple who we were so comfortable with there.
I agree. And I said, and maybe if Sophie and Max wouldn't have been there, it would have been just a good experience. I don't know. But I know there wouldn't have been as many moments I laughed at and as many of those like friendship things I said, because I just don't know them as well. And they're also more quiet. That couple is also more quiet, right? And so that's why I would say, yes, maybe from time to time that could be the best experience.
Yes.
But generally speaking, I think that the other ones will be better. And I think the friendships that we're really connected, that we've spent a long time knowing, probably at the end of the day, probably have the highest likelihood of being the best experience. But I wouldn't say they always are. I think the middle 2, or the people that you met an hour ago to the people that you've known for years, I feel like depending on the night are going to be a similar experience, but probably the ones I've known for a really long time, there's a maybe likelihood of it being even more fun, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm confusing myself at this point.
So it's so interesting because we haven't quite reflected on this quite in this depth before, where it's talking about like casual fucking versus longer friendship fucking for our like own relationship. And so it's interesting like bringing it up. I think it ends up, for me, it ends up being I like to have a mix. I think that it's fun to have those friendships that we have like that deeper connection with and that we hang out with outside of lifestyle stuff, and then we can also do that if we want to. But then it is fun to have the spicy, just kind of more random, I guess, in a sense. I don't know if I would necessarily enjoy a complete random like hookup.
Oh, well, I was gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say one thing. I'll ask you a question. I was gonna say I agree with you. I think that there's something kind of like there's something fun about having that sexy long-term friendship that like you fuck, but there's also something fun about like the couple that you meet and you instantly connect and then you go fuck right then, and like there's just this like pace to it, right? Like you meet, you talk for an hour or two, you guys are just into each other, you go fuck. I think there's something like spicy and sexy about that.
I would say that's a majority of our experiences though.
No, I would say a majority are like we meet them, we talk the next day at lunch, we go get food with them, we go to the meal, and then we're really into each other, and then we fuck like at the 5th night.
Or like the 2nd. Sometimes it's the 1st.
I know, but I'm saying all that's fun, right? I'm saying also,
Yeah.
like sometimes when it's just that really fast, it's really fun too. So I think they're all great. But what I was going to ask is because it really has been a very, very long time, excluding the time when we had an orgy where we knew really well 2 people, other people didn't know as well. Since we had sex with a couple that we didn't really know much at all. And we've always kind of said that, like, I feel like we need that. Is there a couple, like if someone was just, let's say the couple was so physically our types and we didn't really talk for 3 minutes, do you think that you would be like, if they were in it, just like instantly you're like, I'm just so attracted to this couple, do you think that you would be willing to, like, would you have that experience, or would you be like, I would just rather not?
It sounds hot, so I think I would want to, but I think that it's so rare that we would find that. And it's been so, I mean, we've been in this for many, many years now, and it's been so long since I immediately just was attracted to a couple who we didn't talk enough to where they might have been very, very attractive, but once I talked to them for more than 5 minutes, I'm like, you know what? I don't think that I don't like them anymore. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
Not like,
you know
not
what
like
I
in
mean?
a sexual, like I agree that to me, personality means so much that if someone's extremely physically attractive, if I just don't vibe with you, then I feel like sexually it's just not really my thing. It's the same thing with the opposite, where maybe on paper, not exactly my type, but we really vibe well, that can change that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it's so rare that actually happens that I think that I would, because it does sound hot, but then it's so rare that we would actually see that. I don't know if it actually would happen. But then, like, now I'm thinking about it too, and it's like, so we've had experiences where we have not been like that close to them, but we knew we liked each other enough into the friendship to where we were physically attracted to them to where we would think that we would have an experience with them. And then we do. And then I actually later learn more about them. And then I feel weird that I had an experience with them, you know? So it makes me like kind of think like, okay, yeah, like it would be a very hot experience if I literally never talked to them again. Because it would worry me. Like, I would get in my head thinking, like, if later we did start becoming friends and I find out things about them that I just, like, don't agree with, I feel that, like, how did I have an experience with someone that I just don't align with at all? And so that part, or just randomly thinking about this now, because this isn't something that has come up before. So this is just me just now thinking about it. But, so I don't know. Like, I think I would, but at the same time, I don't know if I actually would.
So you're almost saying you'd want it to be like a crossing in the night, like where you had that experience and then you just kind of both moved your separate ways and like a friendship really never formed?
If it were to be that kind of
It's just like
hookup.
you went, you fucked, and then you just never saw each other again.
Yeah, like, I think that would be hot.
It was just like a passing of stars in the night.
Yeah, I think that could be hot.
I agree.
But I don't know if it's so rare that we find a couple who is full swap that we are both physically attracted to and have so much sexual chemistry that it would align that way. And then we would just never see them or talk to them or know anything about them again. But if it did align like that, I think I would. Would you?
Yeah, I agree. But I do feel like 99 out of 100 times, I'm going to enjoy getting to know somebody better. That's just what it is. Now, I will say, I would love if, we've talked about this in a podcast before, but if there was a couple and we didn't speak the same language, and the only thing that we both spoke was like
Sex.
like sex
Like body
appeal,
language,
body
yeah.
language, and I know that we're never really going to learn that deep stuff about each other, and it is that just sexual fun nature of it. As long as we could communicate, like I could hold up a condom and like say no to an ass or something, like no anal.
Well, no, okay,
I'm
so
just kidding. But you know what I'm saying. But like
If we had the same, if we
I
could
would Google
establish our
Translate, yeah.
boundaries, yes.
yes, but I feel like that to me would be sexy, and I feel like
That's hot,
it
yeah.
almost makes it that passing the night type of thing.
Yeah.
And so there is something like sexy about that. But as a general rule, I personally feel like lifestyle experiences are so much better when you are friends with somebody, and for me, and you've made those connections and you can laugh, and like you said, what you said earlier, where if you don't have sex, you're having just as much fun of a time if you're in a sexual situation.
Exactly.
And we've had friends where like we played the first night and then later maybe we hang out and like I still like them, but I felt like we vibe together sexually even more than just like in the vanilla spaces, where we've also had those experiences, or like the opposite, where I feel like we vibe so well in the vanilla spaces that whenever we do just play, it just, does that make sense what I'm saying? It just...
Yeah, it's just all varies. And I think that is part of the fun of the lifestyle, that we get to have all of these different kinds of experiences. And that I don't know necessarily if one is better than the other, in the sense that I wouldn't want to only have one type of experience. I wouldn't want to only have experiences with people who are best friends.
This podcast is brought to you by us, Bella and Jase. If you're going on a vacation, or maybe you have a gift that you want to give your other lifestyle friends and you're looking for lifestyle clothing, we have the best apparel on the market for you. We have not only clothing, bikinis, swimsuits, we have backpacks, tumblers, cups, anything that you can name, we probably have it. You can find that at foreplay.com/shop.
Let's say you're at a party, you're going on vacation, things are moving a little bit slow. Maybe you want some conversation to flow. Maybe you want to move stuff towards play. Well, we have the perfect game for you. It's called Foreplay the Game. It is a digital and physical lifestyle icebreaker game, and you can find out all about it at foreplay.com/games. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com/games.
If you don't have a lifestyle vacation planned, a resort or a cruise planned, why not? You can join us. You can find that at foreplay.com/playcation. We have not only information about the events and trips that we'll be on this year, but also other options for you as well. And it doesn't cost any extra for you to book through our links, but helps us a lot, helps us continue to be able to make this type of content for you. And lastly, we do offer coaching now. And so we do 2-on-2 relationship coaching for the lifestyle. This can be for if you're completely new in the lifestyle, not sure exactly where to start, but wanting somebody to walk you through it. Or maybe you've been in the lifestyle for a while, hitting a lull, or you just need some advice. We are there to help. And you can find that at foreplay.com/coaching. Now back to the show.
And I will say, this makes us sound like whores. We are whores. We're fucking sluts. But we don't play often with the same people, multiple times.
I will say, I want to caveat this before you keep going. Most of our friends, we make our lifestyle vacations, and we don't see them very often. most of our friends that we're more close to are not people we see regularly, and the people that we have had sex with more, like, multiple times are generally people that we do not live by, and we'll have sex with them, on this cruise and then this event.
Yeah, but okay, so the couples that we are like really good friends with, who we do meet on these vacations, when we go meet again on vacation, it's not like we have this priority that we want to fuck them.
No, but
you know what I mean?
But
So it's
we
like,
do sometimes.
I know, but we usually do in like a group sense. Like we'll usually be like, we have so much sexual chemistry with this couple that we've met, and we are great friends, and we see them, every year or whatever it is, and then we know that we have sexual chemistry, and we know that we vibe so well just as friends too, and so we will bring more people into that, but we don't necessarily just like have multiple foursomes.
We still we don't even play that often with people in general. So it's not like we have experience that often. So I feel like the other thing is, if a couple lived close to us, I don't feel like we would play with them often because we just don't have lifestyle experiences often.
But if they were around, I don't know what it would be like. And I actually don't know if I would prefer that. Like, I don't know if we did find a couple who were in our city that we were such amazing friends with, that we have fucked before, and it's amazing sexual chemistry too. I don't know if I would necessarily want or feel like having experiences with them often. So then it's like I'm thinking, well, maybe that middle ground is what I personally like more when it comes to experiences, where it's like, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, I like so I'm going to use an example because I can say this one. Mr. and Mrs. Life of Spice. We have had sex with them multiple times. We've had sex with them in orgies. We've had foursomes with them. And I feel like every time I see them, we just hang out. And we just had this really amazing time together, whether that's us getting dinner or we're watching them together or we're sitting in a room together. And then sometimes we do fuck. And it's really fun and really enjoyable.
But even
when
with them, it's lots of time in between.
I know, which I'm saying is fun. I like that. So I do like to have sex with the same people multiple times, but I feel like I like just having those friendships where most of the time it's vanilla, and then when those things happen, they happen.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if we would actually enjoy, I'm talking, because there are some couples out there who that's what they love to do is they want to find couples who they connect with amazingly, and then they will have sex together often.
Fairly often. Yeah.
I don't know how often is often for people, but I'm talking about I don't know if I would have sex with the same couple. That's what I'm saying. It makes me sound like a fucking whore, which I don't care. I'm glad that I'm a whore. But that I don't think I would want to have a foursome with the same couple, no matter how amazing of friends we are. Honestly, if we were really, really amazing friends, it could even make me less likely to want to, multiple times in a month. Yeah. I feel like if it was spread out over every few months, or if we had a party and then the couple that we love was there and then there was other couples coming in, that I could do more often. Yeah. But
I think that what the good thing about it is like we said, if you're into sport fucking, great. If you're like us and your favorite experiences are occasionally having sex with people multiple times, but you like having those new experiences, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty of the lifestyle. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is doing, so even just well, I'm a whore, it doesn't matter. Yes, we are slutty and that's fun, but if that's our lifestyle journey, then that's fun. Just if people, they want to find one or two couples and just have sex with those same two couples over and over, great. If that is what makes the dynamic of your lifestyle journey fun, I don't think it should matter.
Exactly. Yeah, it's whatever is best for you, and just know that it's okay. And see, I guess I have some kind of internal negativity of me saying that, okay, well, if I'm actually not wanting to fuck a couple multiple times in a month, then that is super, super slutty. But that's okay. It is slutty, but that's okay. And so yeah, just know that one is not better than the other. If you prefer having those more casual hookups, that's completely fine. Just as long as everything is consensual, is okay. And then it's okay to have different preferences, and it's okay to want it all. It's okay to want to have those casual hookups and have these really deep friendships and hook up with them too.
Yeah, and I think it's also totally fine if, let's say that you make really good couple friends and they're the couple that wants to find those partners that play with all the time, and you guys are the people who are like, well, we don't like to play with. I think it's good just to be open and honest. And if people are going to keep like flirting with you like, hey, we should play, I think it's totally smart to say, you know what, guys, like we love playing with you guys, but like we're just not the kind of people who play all the time with people. And I think that's a fine thing to say. So you can still like tell your friends, like, I don't want them to get the idea that like, well, I'm just not into them anymore. Like, yes, I'm still into you, but just like, personally, I'm not the kind of people who play with people all the time. So I want you to know that we still love you guys. We still like to hang out, and sometimes play sounds fun. But if you guys do want to play all the time, like, that's just not really our vibe. And I think that that's also okay to say, because once again, everyone is on their own journey. And what I love about the lifestyle is everyone respects everyone.
So that's like one of the Reddit posts that I saw was that sport fuckers are like, it was in quotations, like sport fuckers are beneath me, and saying that I'm not on Reddit that often, so I don't really know like what the vibe of that subreddit is, but so from what it seems like in that post is that there is negative connotation to people in the lifestyle who do enjoy more of that casual hookup versus a couple who I guess you could say is more progressive swinging, where they're making those connections. And like some of those swingers are saying that like sport fucking is beneath them. Like it's like, I don't do this because I'm holier than thou. And I don't think that that's okay. And so I want to like, I don't know like what the entire consensus, of
swingers feel.
Yeah, but so whenever you said that, like I want to be clear that like we don't think that one is better than the other, and I think whatever works best for you, as long as it's consensual and as long as everybody is consenting and knows that this is what it is, then I think that's completely okay. But if there is some vibe shift where people are saying that the sport fucking is bad, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, as long as, now I said, if it's
not for competition.
like, it's like those kind of things, yes, I can see, but yes, I agree with Bella there. And so, yeah, the takeaway is do what works best for you and find what works best for you. And if those things vary and change and move from time to time, and sometimes you're really into, the idea of not making as good of a connection sounds sexy, cool. And then later you're like, I really want to make better friends, cool. Like whatever it is, that's able to vary and change, and it's whatever you want it to be. And I think that that's great. I don't know if we specifically, I feel like we kind of talked about, I don't know if we specifically did, but I know we talked at the beginning, like how we started at the beginning compared to how we are now. The one thing I will say that has changed is now I feel like I do know that as a general rule, we like some sort of connection.
Yeah.
Whereas at the beginning, I feel like we were much more up for that, like, we really don't know them very well, like that's fine, like whatever, like they're cute, let's just, I don't know if we're going to talk much afterwards, that's fine. Like I feel like we were more like, it was more the idea of just like the sex part sounded really hot and the connections were fun but not as prioritized, where I do feel like now we prioritize connections with the sex part being the second end of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we've evolved or changed or grown, or I guess it's not even grown or changed, it's not grown or evolved, it's just changed, because I think that like evolving means like moving in a progressive direction that's getting better, where I don't think that's the thing. I think we've just changed because it's just we like something differently than the beginning.
It's just we found what works best for us, and we found that for us we enjoy having that connection in that way, but then we also do, like talking about it now like this, we do think that it would be hot to have a more casual hookup, but the stars would have to align in like this specific way, and so it's like,
yeah, but we are going on Bliss Cruise. That's like 7,000 people here in a couple weeks. Maybe the stars will align. If we do, we'll film a podcast about it.
Yeah, you guys will know.
But yeah, so hopefully that just gave you guys something to talk about, and remember, it's your journey, so do it how you want to. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed that. But let's go ahead and jump into Bella and Jase's weekly obsession.
I was trying to.
You left me alone.
I know, sorry. I was
Why'd you
giving you
leave
a
me
solo.
alone?
Because I was trying to switch O and W because you said Jella and Base. So I was going to say Jella and Bases, but you can't really say weekly with an O. So then
Weekly.
Weekly web
Sessions?
sessions. So that's why I left you because my
I would have
brain.
gone for a solo if you would have told me, but since you just
sorry.
left me here drowning, I just
No, you were doing so well.
thanks.
Bella and Jace's weekly.
All right, let's
Okay, we're
let's do it
even
together, let's do it
now.
together. Okay, Bella and Jase's
Weekly obsessions.
All right, let's have you go first.
My first weekly obsession is, so I got this black light, and it's like one of those long tube black lights, and it's been fun because we usually use just our LED lights and put a blue hue on it, and then it'll kind of do the same kind of black light vibe. But I've been wanting to make these TikToks and Instagram reels where I've made these pasties that are glow, and so they are fluorescent, and these ones, and I needed it to where you couldn't see me at all, and it was just the pasties. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I'm talking about, you can find it on I think Instagram is probably gonna be the easiest one, but on my Instagram at Bella Luna Reels. And anyways, this black light is that wavelength where the human eye like can't actually see any other color around, and you can only see the actual fluorescency in the video. So I've been obsessed with that, and I've been obsessed with making different pasties, and it's so fun, and I like coming up with all of these like different prompts and then having the pasties match it and making it match like what the comments say, and that's been one obsession. And my other obsession is, oh my gosh, when I tell you I have not shipped a couple, whether it be fictional or not, more than I ship Andrew Garfield and Amelia de Moldenberg. I am fucking obsessed with them. And you have to watch the chicken shop date that she did with him, and then you'll have to go and find the lore and watch all of the different interviews that they've done together, and you cannot tell me that they are meant to be. And they are so cute, and it feels like a movie. Like it feels like a book, like the perfect romance book and movie, and I just want them. They make me giddy. It feels when I watch an interview with them, it feels like I shouldn't be there, that we're a fly on the wall, and that they're just flirting and having fun, and it's real. It feels real, or they're the best actors ever, which he is an amazing actor. I love Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, but the thing with it is like she never breaks character, and she like is literally never in her character when she's with him. It's like I've never seen her like that. And so
the chemistry is insane.
Yeah, it is.
And they
I
are
agree.
so cute together, and they have banter, and they're just fucking adorable. And so I've been obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And everything Andrew Garfield, Amelia de Moldenberg.
I agree.
Amelia de Moldenberg Garfield, or Andrew Garfield de Moldenberg.
I have two. My first one is the song Mantra by Ginny. Ginny from Blackpink just put out a solo.
Can you give me a sample?
That's that pretty girl mantra, but just touched on LA.
Nice.
And yeah, I've just been enjoying that. I don't like it as much as Lisa's songs she's been doing solo stuff, and I also don't like I like it more than Rosé and Bruno Mars's new song.
Really? I like Rosé's a lot more than that one.
I like Mantra more. This is my weekly obsessions.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
You could have done that song for your weekly obsession if you wanted to. So don't talk shit about my obsession when you didn't even put that one as your obsession. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take your spotlight.
It's
My
okay.
bad.
It's fine.
You want another solo?
No.
You should do solo, the Jenny solo.
Solo.
Perfect.
Okay, anyway, my other obsession, I'm just going to move on from this. My other obsession is I've started watching this YouTube, I guess it's like a series. It's called Jet Lag the Game. And I started watching it around 4 months ago. And they do a bunch of different ones. And so like I watched their current ones. I went back and watched some of the old ones. And it's generally these three guys and one girl. And they'll travel the world and they'll do different things. So they'll play like tag across Europe. and like they'll have like where one person is the runner, and then the other people like have a tracking device, and like there's all these different like games that they play along the way that like make it more fun, I guess. And so it almost reminds me a little bit of Amazing Race in a sense, but different. And they just have a bunch of different series through Australia and Europe and all over. And I thoroughly have been enjoying watching that. And yeah, so Jet Lag the Game is my other obsession.
I always see you watching it. It looks fun, but not for me.
Not fun enough, I guess.
It looks fun for you.
But yeah, that's our weekly obsessions. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We enjoyed filming it for you guys. And so thank you so much for listening. And we will hit you guys with the outro. Bye.
If you'd like to support the show, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to our podcast. All our information will be listed in the show notes below and on our website, fourplay.com. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we make videos and vlogs about the swinging lifestyle. Head to fourplay.com/YouTube to watch and subscribe. We have the ultimate adult party game for the sexually inclined called Foreplay the Game that's both digital and physical. It's perfect for breaking the ice and spicing up any party. You can find more information at foreplay.com/games. We also have the best swinger lifestyle, kinky, and adult humor clothing and accessories that you can find at foreplay.com/shop. If you're looking to plan a lifestyle destination, booking through our links at foreplay.com/travel really helps support the show and helps us be able to continue to create this type of content for you. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and more. You can find all our current social media accounts at foreplay.com/socials, and I have an OnlyFans, which you can find at onlyfans.com/BellaLunaVIP. We also have a Facebook group and Discord community and would love for you to join us. You can find the direct links in the show notes below. Lastly, we're on STC and Cassidy at Foreplay, and you can get a free full membership trial by using our link. You can email us at hello@foreplay.com with any questions or comments, or head to foreplay.com/ask. Again, all our information will be listed in the show notes below, and we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. See you in the next one. Bye!